I wish to announce to you the important news that the Holy Father, Pope Paul VI, has decided in favor of a visit to the independent nation of Western Samoa in order to honor through this visit the peoples of the Pacific and the heroic missionaries who have spent their lives in the service of these peoples.
No pontiff had ever set foot on South Pacific soil. The Pope traveled to the Millennial village for outdoor mass. 135 years had passed since the first Catholic missionaries, the Marist brothers, had arrived. Bishop Pio Taufinu'u was later to become the first Polynesian appointed cardinal. When modern Samoa established its first central government in 1873, its Parliament House, Motafono, was built on a chiefly meeting place at Mulinu'u. It still stands as a reminder of the country's colonial past. To mark the 10th anniversary of independence, a new Motafono was built close to the original one, which had served Samoa for 99 years. Designed by a Canadian architect, the roof retains the shape of a Samoan fale. History was made in the 1976 elections when the newly appointed Prime Minister did not hold a Tama'ainga title. And the trend continued. Universal suffrage was introduced in 1991 and served to control the sharp increase in Matai titles. Until then, only Matai had the right to vote. The first female member of parliament was appointed to cabinet in the same year.
In the latter part of the century, aspects of the culture started to adapt to the shifting patterns of modern living. At ceremonial events such as building dedications, weddings or funerals, the presentation of food, sua, is still practiced. However, traditional foods are now often replaced with Western goods. Canned fish for cooked pigs, corned beef for chicken, biscuits in place of talo, cola for coconut milk, and a piece of cloth in lieu of siapo. The traditional Samoan fale has almost totally disappeared, and most houses are now built with cement, wood and corrugated iron. Vautasi is no longer the main means of sea transport, but it is a major sport. In a reversal of the trend to westernization, some churches have introduced Samoan custom into parts of their service. Tanoa, taupo, talking chiefs, and fine mats are symbolically included in worship. Samoans remain passionate about Samoa. The Matai system is maintained wherever Samoans gather together, at home and abroad. As a Matai once said, Samoan culture will only die when all Samoans die.
No, okay, let's have a look.
Before the National University of Samoa was opened in 1984, Samoans had to travel abroad for further studies. They can now achieve first degrees in arts, science, commerce, education and nursing in Apia. A polytechnic also provides training for many trades. Degrees in theology and divinity are offered at the Methodist and Congregational Christian Church colleges, where principals and most academic staff are Samoan. These colleges were first established in the mid-19th century as training institutions for pastors and their wives. Samoans believe that taking care of one's elders earns blessing. The Fa'a Samoa includes care of the aged in the extended family structure. But with the new demands of modern living, not all families are able to provide this care. And so was established an old people's home in Mapui Whangalele, which became the first of its kind, wherein the elderly are cared for by the little sisters of the poor.
In keeping with the revolution in global telecommunications, the strong demand for mobile phones has expanded well beyond the commercial sector and has become a popular item for home use. Television sets, telephones and refrigerators are no longer novelties, since electricity now reaches every village. And computers, faxes and the internet are also gradually making their way to the villages. Most noticeable, however, is the sharp increase in motor vehicles. It's a giant step from 50 years ago when people traveled in groups by longboat or walked from villages to Apia and back. Public transport and new roads have cut the isolation of even the most remote areas. As in days past, subsistence farming is still the major way of life in rural Samoa. It exists alongside an enlarging cash economy, supported by remittances from Samoan families living overseas.
The country's natural resources have been harnessed to become what is now a feature of Samoa's major industry, tourism. Its genesis lies in the 1940s, when the American Marines built Falulu Airport to support their defense of the islands against the threat of a Japanese invasion. From a small tin shed and grass runway beginning, it is today an international airport. And whilst economic development is important, Samoa's tourism is carefully monitored to protect its customs and traditions. I'iga Pisa was a living legend of Samoa and its fledgling tourism industry. From humble beginnings in the 1940s as a hamburger bar, I'iga Pisa developed into the largest hotel in the country and is famous worldwide. By the 1990s, Samoa once again found itself in the path of two natural disasters, Cyclones Orphan and Bell. They damaged most villages throughout the country. The idyllic village of Papa on Savaii Island was completely destroyed. Houses, plantations, and vegetation disappeared overnight. People sought refuge inland and anywhere they could dig in for cover. The balance of marine life, on which much of Samoan's subsistence living depends, was gravely affected. It took almost 5 years for the government and the people of Samoa to rebuild the country and revive its economy.
Sport is a passion among Samoans. They made history in 1993 when they won the 7-a-side World Rugby Final against rivals Fiji. And Samoa's pride, Manu Samoa, made lasting and vivid impressions on the sporting world during 3 Rugby Union World Cup competitions. Wales will never forget the power and force of the Samoan tackle. David Tua made New Zealand his adopted country, but has taken Samoa to the heights of the boxing world. And Samoan athletes have been competing in the Olympic Games since 1984. The Christian significance of the new millennium was celebrated throughout Samoa.
Samoa!
Ula-ulaunga i le asol ngei al koe asol sen kuli. Leo au kau karikongu. O le whawhao sauli. O le ele o kuf kafoe.
These islands were the last place in the world to see the fading light of the outgoing millennium.
Samoa's firstborn of the 21st century will forever be a symbol of human prosperity and fertility. The heart of Polynesia lives on.
Ua no fale ya satu ya maapa ia sa wo Samoa. Iona tulanga falupe. Ile eta pua il songa il malitoa tan mafili le lua. O le au malu o tato malo.
Samoa's pride in its people and twain.
O te whātulau atu le paia mawalunga o whapenana sao I Hawaii nei. A whio lau a whionga le kowana sili ma lau masiofu. A whio le tena kowana ma le paia na malo o Hawaii. Tulau. Tulau le paia mawalunga o taitai o malo SS. Al tātou a inga le vasa Pasifika. Tulau. Ai whai ia lo leo whatau wā. Whai masui. Lea whio mai a lea whionga le minstao a onga manganu. Whapea le minstao langalango. An matanga alwenga o a onga manganu. Mātou te whawhelo ai atu. Ili pa ia ma le mamalu a sasau nei. O loto pa ia ma loto mamalu. O le ale e toe o ai se leo. O na o pa ia ma mamalu ma le babau. E o le whababau. A pau lan matou tala. Ta lofa lava. Honorable Governor and your First Lady, members of the Senate, dignitaries, Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, heads of government, and all the participants of the Festival of Arts here in Hawaii. On behalf of the government and the people of the independent state of Samoa, we come together here in our ohana here in Hawaii. Governor Lee, last night you made a very important point. You were present in our time of need in 2019 when the measles epidemic hit Samoa. We do not forget such kind actions. On behalf of the people of Samoa, we thank you for your service during our time of need. But I find it it's a blessing that I happen to stand right here, but right to my immediate left is a son of Samoa in the former mayor of Honolulu, Mufi Hanneman. And I'm going to use Mufi's words. Every day is an opportunity. And that is why we are here. Every day is an opportunity for Samoa to shine the light on all of our young people, to shine the light of culture, to shine the light of our language. Ole tupuanga marfasino manga. Your genealogy and your identity is not negotiable. And in Samoa, we are here to ensure that our identity will never be negotiable. In our ohana, our islands of the Pacific, too often around the world, they look at us as small island states. But in the words of the late Epelia Ofa from Tonga, we are not small island states. We are the caretakers of the largest ocean in the world. And although we are all from different parts of the Pacific, we share one body of ocean. And when we look from above from the satellites, we see there are no boundaries. There are no borders. We are one body, one people, one ocean, and we will continue to show that throughout these 16 days.
Amen.
Honorable Governor, we bring you gifts. The first of our gifts is a tanoa. The tanoa is a symbol. It's a symbol of gathering, a symbol of decision making, of our matais, our decision makers. Our tanoa as well, as my Tongan and Fijian and all my Pacific Island brothers will tell you, is the original social media. Secondly, is the toto. Sorry, we have our ipu ava, of which we will partake in the drinking of our kava. Secondly is our toto. The toto is our staff used by our orators. And when you stand with honor. You stand to represent your family. You stand to represent your district. You stand to represent your island. And we present to you the toto. Next is the foi. It is not complete for our orators if you do not have a foi. The foi is basically to try and whip away all the bad spirits. It is a symbol to show that you are connected to your land, you are connected to your genealogy, you are connected to your people. And next is our siapo, the tapa cloth woven by our women in Samoa, and we brought it over the shores as a gift for the First Lady. This is a symbol of our women, a symbol to show our pride to you, the Governor and the First Lady. And lastly, we would like to offer our garland, an ulafala, and ulalopa. Ulafala for your good self, Governor, and ulalopa for the First Lady. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not part of the script, but I cannot stand here and not acknowledge one gentleman. Aaron Salah, Kamunmoli, Fiamaya. Although Aaron is representing Hawaii, but he carries a Salah last name, and therefore he is Samoan through and through. To our family here around in Hawaii, we hope to show to you and showcase to you Samoa in its beauty, in its true essence. The late Tatesimi once said, learn to speak Samoan not so that you sound Samoan, but that you know the true essence of being Samoan. And so tonight, we are going to showcase to you just a few dances of what is to come in the next couple of days. Soifua Maia Manuia. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome four-time world champion
This man is 5,000 kilometres from home. The year is 1915. The stretch of ocean he paddles across will, for some time, be named after him. This man has fought against imperial occupiers. He has been exiled to foreign lands, but will return to see his homeland freed from colonial oppression. Who is he? His name is I'iga Pisa.
This man is my great-grandfather.
Sonny's great-grandfather holds a unique place in Samoa's history. He rose up against the German occupiers as a part of the Mao'apule and later worked with the New Zealand administration. Along the way, he witnessed all of Samoa's major recent historical events. But before we can really understand I'iga's story, we need to understand Samoa's.
Well, it probably makes sense if we go back to that moment, which really happens in 1899, where Samoa's divided into two, where the US gets the part that we know as American Samoa, and New Zealand, which had been trying to secure the western part, gives up its claim very unhappily, and the western part goes to Germany. And out of that moment where we get a formal German government in the west and a formal US government in the east, that's the moment that Samoans begin to realise that actually their country, they've lost something about their country.
The Germans settled quickly, building thriving industries off the back of abundant copper plantations.
And they start passing laws that aren't just for Germans and white people, for Palangis, but actually they think that Samoans are going to, these laws are going to apply to Samoans. And Samoans, I think many Samoans hadn't anticipated that would happen. And so quite quickly, there's a response to this German imposition of German colonial law.
The seed of that response started small, with Samoans refusing to pay taxes or playing the very English sport of cricket as a form of protest. But it would grow into something much larger.
What prompted the Mao'apule was from their point of view that the German governors at the time, on behalf of the Kaiser in Germany, were trying to take over Samoa, and they didn't want that.
It starts coming to a head as quickly as 4 years after the Germans take over. What we see is, out of the Samoan political elite, a commitment to try and find a more consolidated, traditional Samoan response to German colonialism. And the visible leader of that effort is a man called Loaki Namalaru Mamoe, and he uses his group of very powerful tūlawhale or orators to consolidate a Samoan opposition, and that becomes known as the Mao'apule.
One of Lawaki's lead supporters was Sonny's great-grandfather, I'iga Pisa, a Matai from the Mau stronghold of Pu'apua in Savaii.
They call him Pisa, but his full name is Tu'upisa Moa Moa. If translated, is Li Pisa to serve the constituency of Amoa. I'iga, coming from a father being a priest, so he could write and read because of the Whaisia'au, the missionaries. So his whole idea was to record the minds of the chiefs.
Samoa is one of the most literate places in the world in the 1800s. I'iga Pisa is a writer, so he writes at multiple points in his life.
I'm here to record the meetings and that sort of thing. I guess that's his role, and which Lawaki trusted him. Remember, in those days, writing and recording things is a Palangi thing. And that's how I'iga joined the Mau, and he also had the trust of the elders.
The Mau were organised and had agency, moving between Savaii, Upolu and Tutuila, giving speeches and gathering support.
The Germans are consistently worried that at any given moment, the natives, as they see them, could could tip from giving speeches to being violent, and you know, many of these Samoan men were experienced warriors. They had guns, and there were more Samoans with guns than there were Germans. And so at any given moment, you could understand if you're being coercive, if you're trying to rule in other people, and yet they are people who know how to defend themselves and have fought in the past, you can see their fear.
The Mauapule gathered massive support amongst Samoans, and the politically astute Lawaki became a worrying prospect for the German governor, Wilhelm Solf.
The governor was clearly panicked, and his response was actually, he called in the most powerful navy that existed in the Pacific at that time, the Asiatic Squadron of the German Navy, and they came from China, and then they essentially parked between Upolu and Savai'i. We would see these as battleships now, parked between the two Samoan islands to stop traditional travel between them, and then pointed guns at Samoan villages. These are big, like huge guns that would flatten Samoan villages. And then they basically sort of stared Lawaki down, at which point he decided for the good of Samoa that he would let them exile him. And so all up, over 70 Samoans are sent from Samoa, you know, thousands of miles of kilometres away to the Mariana Islands.
When I see them sitting on the deck of the boat, I'iga sitting down, some are standing up, I think Lawaki's standing up. I just feel the whole alienness of it, being on a boat on the sea, a Baalangi boat at that, knowing that you're not going to see pretty much, because some of them were old and most didn't make it back. You'll never see Samoa again.
So what was life like for them in Saipan?
So it would have been quite self-sufficient, if you like, a little community on their own. And so their everyday life would probably be centered around finding food, cooking food, growing food, and doing things like that.
So we actually have some quite good detail about that experience there. I mean, it is interesting to see Samoans in a non-Polynesian setting, because Samoans are everywhere in Polynesia, but in Micronesia they live as Samoans because it's the same food, same trees. The Chamorro of Saipan treat them very well. And actually even the German officials there treat them relatively well. But the simple truth is, of the 10 Matai who leave Samoa, I'iga Pisa is the only one who ever sees Samoa again. And that's a very powerful thing to reckon with.
I'iga knew that as soon as he returned to Samoa, knowing how to speak German would greatly help his and the Samoan cause. So he walked miles every day to the local German school, where German speakers taught him the language.
So in 2016, we went to Guam, and I thought, wow, what a great opportunity to go to Saipan, where I'iga and the Mauapule were. I went to the village that they built there, you know, building a home away from home. And nothing was there anymore. It was just the remnants of a lost civilization, if you like. It put a context to it, you know, that this was a real thing.
He always wanted to find out what was happening in Samoa. And when they did then find out about that the First World War had started, and that the New Zealanders had taken on behalf of Britain, Great Britain, he immediately made plans to return because he wasn't sure whether they were coming back.
English was the only way that you could survive and keep the tour for your family if he gets back. He did say to Lawaki, o te whiaalu, o te seawala to for Samoa, and Lawaki said to him, I'iga, where are you going? We're in the middle of nowhere. How are you going? You're going to die in the ocean, in the big ocean. And he said to him, God will find a way to guide him back.
I'iga needed to learn English, and the closest place he could learn English was in Guam, and that was 220 kilometers away from Saipan. But the next thing he did was, wow.
After 6 years in Saipan, he set his sights on Guam and the English language. The local Chamorro people gifted I'iga a baobao, and he set sail across the deepest stretch of ocean on the planet.
He did say that Lawaki said, "Saunalu, come and go and do your will, what you want to do." And he said, Lawaki put his hands on his head and blessed him.
Yeah, he stops at a couple of islands on the way, islands like Ruta and Tinian, and then eventually, with the support of the people on those islands, ends up in Guam. And Guam at that point has been an American colony since 1899 as well. And there he is taken in by Chamorro. There he can speak some Chamorro, but he can't really speak much English, and he sets out to learn English. When he arrives, he is taken to the governor of Guam, who's a US naval governor, and then sort of takes an interest in him, gives him a job where I'iga learns not just English but also printing. And he stays in Guam for actually quite a long time.
There's no one better for Sonny to ask about Guam than his cousin and I'iga's wife's namesake, Fa'utu, who accompanied Sonny's mother and the rest of the family to the I'iga and the other exiles' 100-year commemoration in Guam and Saipan in 2015.
Hi.
Hi!
So, you know, when you went to Guam
And Saipan.
what was it like to do all that?
Really had no idea what we were going into, other than we were going to commemorate like the old man, his journey from Saipan to Guam. But then it also looked at like the history of the exiles or the exilees that were there. Just to be there as a family, to honor the legacy that we've all heard about, right?
Yeah.
Like we grew up hearing about that, I'iga Pisa, I'iga. But actually being there and to stand there was still mana that you felt when you were standing there.
He was a very tall and handsome man. These good looks have been passed down through all generations. He was a wise man who spoke when needed.
What did my mum do in Guam? What did she talk about?
So she actually spoke about her personal relationship with Grandpa I'iga.
These linguistic skills would prove to be extremely vital in future historical events.
So her presentation was very much a personal, like insight into the man, speaking of the man versus the myth. So she really talked about how
She loved.
as the eldest grandchild, she was basically revered by the old man, taken everywhere with him, and
raised by them.
And raised by
your
him,
namesake.
by I'iga and Fa'autu. So, yeah.
The ultimate champion and ambassador of I'iga's name, Sonny's mother died in 2021. From Guam, I'iga moved to Hawaii, where he continued to work at a printing press and learn English. And in 1919, with funds sent from his brother for his fair home, it was time for I'iga to return to Samoa.
No, so he had to get permission granted on the US side. You know, one of the things that colonialism does is it constrains the movement of non-white people. But he did have sort of endorsements from various influential Palangi people, from Germans that he knew in Samoa, and then from the colonial governor of Guam, who facilitated both his job in Hawaii and his trip back to Tutuila.
It had been 10 long years since he last stood on Samoan soil.
Yes, he walked into his family and they didn't even know him, recognize him.
So he kind of likes that no one recognises him initially. And in one of his accounts that he writes, they thought I was Afakasi from somewhere else.
He arrived back to no fanfare and a completely new colonial climate, with the New Zealand administration still learning the governing game and failing at it, highlighted by their devastating decision to allow the Spanish flu to rip through Samoa.
Everything is in German and all the records, and so the people who are able to speak what are effectively the three languages of Samoa, German, English and Samoan, become very influential people. Inga's unusual in that he has English, he can speak German as well, and he speaks Samoan, of course, as his mother tongue.
Colonel Robert Logan, recognising that I'iga would be a great asset, wasted no time in offering him a job working with the New Zealand administration as a secretary to the Department of Native Affairs.
It's a really powerful moment, and it's a bit scary, Are you going to put your cards on this side or that side?
He never wrote why he made his decision, whether it was to continue his work opposing the colonial powers, but this time from the inside, or to secure his family's future. In the end, he took the job. It was where he would work until he retired.
Yeah, that's his role at the time, I suppose. It was to translate and try and make peace, yeah.
Peace was paramount. The rise of the second Mao movement was building momentum as the 1920s looked to be taking a tumultuous turn. It must have been a hard thing for I'iga to reconcile.
Knowing that there were elements of the resistance movement continuing under the New Zealand administration, I would imagine also that he would probably feel quite torn in loyalty. Because I often wondered why he joined the Mao of the 1920s, but it's something I never was able to ask him.
So from his angle of vision, from the way he sees the world, not knowing what we know about what's going to happen, you can understand why he might make that choice.
I believe there were different factions, different opinions as to whether Samoans should be involved in the administration. There were people that said, yeah, to fight for, our rights. Yeah. And others were like, no, because they're not doing anything for the people of Samoa. I'm assuming because I'iga was there, he was of the lot that believed that change could be made from the inside.
Oh, yeah. It would have been a very difficult position for the old man to be in, really, trying to reconcile everything that he was doing himself, and then seeing his way clearly in terms of guiding our own family affairs.
People were calling him Judas, Rome Falata. Everybody feel that they were betrayed by him. I would have said the same too. But it didn't stop him because he feels maybe they were doing the right thing. We're all peaceful, nobody would get injured and get hurt. So, yeah.
But people were about to get hurt. On December 28, 1929, tensions between the Mao and the New Zealand administration reached tipping point when the New Zealanders opened fire on a group of peaceful protesters, killing 11 people, including one of the talismanic leaders of the Mao, Tupua Tamasese Lialofi III. I'iga was called on to try and quell the anger.
I'iga's job was essentially to either be the meat in the sandwich, or to be a mediator, or to be in a place where others might see more less forgivingly as as to be a colonial kind of instrument. It's easy to see these things in black and white, but once you start seeing that, well, not all Samoans were on the same page. If there weren't Samoans working with the colonial government, there's no question that it would have been even more brutal. At the end of the day, we all have to look after our families and eat, and that many of us would take and have taken jobs that, if we followed the whole logic through, don't align with our deeply held values. So the world was no less complex back then.
So I'iga Pisa the man, I'iga Pisa the myth, all these wonderful, great feats that he achieved. And of course, we need to know those things. But what was he like as a man? If you could spend like half an hour with I'iga Pisa, what would you like to say to him?
Half an hour? That's like...
I know, but that's what you got. That's all the
Oh my God, I
said.
spent most of it crying and hugging him.
Okay, that's right. Well, that's 45 minutes.
I remember he used to sing a song to put me to sleep, and it goes like this. My name is Masunu, and he goes, Ia le Masunu, sunu, sunu. Ia le Masunu, sunu. I try and sing it to my children. It's my favorite memory of him.
We grew up only hearing the myth. The man, I heard about it from Mama, from Dad. So when this was a two-story house, they would always go to massage his legs. If a foanga vaima o ngalinga pamakala I whangongol ko I'iga, where he would tell legends.
But one thing for sure, he was a damn good leader for our family in terms of being our matai, because he managed to protect all our family Messina. He was a great figure in the history of Samoa, but I think he was a greater matai for our own family.
Sonny's great-grandfather, a family man and a man for history.
I sort of described him as the Forrest Gump of Samoa. So yeah, Forrest Gump turns up at all these famous moments, and to the point where Forrest Gump has to be a made-up story. But actually I'iga's not, right? He's there in American Samoa. He's there when he's deported. He's there in Hawaii. He's there in the 1920s with the Mau. And then he turns up in 1954 when they start talking about the independence of Samoa. He's actually in the Constitutional Convention. And then he's here when he comes to New Zealand as the interpreter when they come to negotiate what becomes Samoa's independence.
After 62 years of colonial rule, on the 1st of January 1962, Samoa saw in her independence. I'iga Pisa was the only surviving matai from the original Mau movement to finally see Samoa's freedom.
Well, I was there. I was one of the age from my father. And I was very proud of our people that they acquired independence before any of the others. And I felt that it was a wonderful justification of the Mau movement. Here is independence at long last. And here is independence that was won with struggling and with leadership and vision.
He did wrote down in one of his last entries, "Watutulu uroi mata ore fifia." I guess if you translate that as I'm shedding a tear of joy listening to the Sound of Freedom, which is our national anthem.
Quite remarkable that in his lifetime, he was born in a free, independent Samoa, and he died in a free and independent Samoa. And he was there to ease Samoa out of colonialism.
Only 3 years after independence, I'iga Pisa passed away. He now rests next to Sunny's mother at the family home in Vaiala.
His story isn't really our family story. It's the story of Samoa because it's part of the history of why we're here in the first place, right? Like, it's a story that every single Samoan should know so that they know that it's in them to fight for your own rights, fight for sovereignty, fight for like the Samoa, fight for our culture, fight for the family unit, whether it's the nuclear or the I'iga Pisa.
The first legacy we all leave is our descendants, right? And of course he's got an enormous, really prominent family who make an enormous contribution to not just Samoa, but of course New Zealand and other parts of the world. So, you know, he speaks through his ngafa.
It's important that our future generations know where they came from and the hardships they went through. In order for them to move forward, they need to know what happened in the past. I think as a family, we've always wanted to share the story, which is just a matter of timing.
I'iga Pisa, a man who left
Every Monday morning in Lalomanu village, kava, called ava here in Samoa, is made ready for the ceremonial opening of the village council. At the start of the week, all the titled men, the heads of family clans that is to say, meet in the pillared vale to discuss the affairs of their district. Receiving the ava cup, a libation is poured as though this were a meeting in pre-classical Greece. Today's tropical Polynesia maintains much ancient tradition. Essentially a social drink, ava is said to stimulate good conversation. Before drinking, a toast is always spoken. So the ava ceremony unites the heads of families into one family for the morning's conference. Another sound on the morning air in Lalomanu is that of a song in English by the youngest school children. Also in session at Lalomanu is a meeting of the Women's Committee to hear a health talk.
You'll remember when I was last here how we spoke of the value of having green vegetables in the diet, how it was very important to use them so that we could build up a good healthy constitution while you were expecting your baby. It is also important for you to have vegetables for your infants as they are growing older from 6 months onwards.
The women's committees are important in Samoan progress. There are many duties besides the raising of families that are traditionally women's work. The roofing of houses, for example. Land is held by families. Cultivation and high-altitude harvesting are carried out by members of the family, each receiving a share of the produce. The coconut palm gives meat, drink and roofing material, so with all growing their own food, no one need lack for necessities. For such services as schools and hospitals and for imports of all kinds, money is needed. Cash crops include bananas, cocoa and copra. In a good year, Samoan knives slice out coconut meat which, when dried, is worth £1 million sterling. Increased production of all cash crops is important to the economy. Bananas go to New Zealand in crates bearing the names of the village of origin. Copra goes mainly to England and cocoa to all parts of the world. Fortnightly consignment gives the menfolk a chance of a regular trip along the coast road to the capital and port of Apia. Passed from German to New Zealand rule in 1914, these islands have since 1946 been United Nations Trust territory. New Zealand administration here has earned frequent praise from the Trusteeship Council. 16,000 of Western Samoa's 100,000 people live in Apia, the capital, where the most colourful times are days of parades when all the bands are in town.
Many peoples have been assisted to achieve their aims and aspirations under the overall shield of British tradition.
An address from New Zealand's representative, the High Commissioner. At nearby Samoa College, the colourful times are any time when games are in progress. These islands have such a high birth rate that half the population is under 16, and so pupils are numerous. All over the world, children who study English read books or poems written here. Above Samoa College, on the very summit of Mount Vaia, is the tomb of Robert Louis Stevenson, whose memory Samoan children know by his island name of Tusitala. Far below is Vailima, Stevenson's last home. Today, Vailima is the residence of the New Zealand High Commissioner. Tomorrow, in self-governing Western Samoa, it will always remain a place of importance. Another early European-style building is the 70-year-old church at Saleamoa. Villages replacing a roof damaged by infestation show that there is Christian zeal enough here to defeat even termites. Both repairs and building are done by voluntary village labour. At Ulutongia, a fine new church is just being completed. Soon, Ulutongia Church is ready for opening, and the people of neighbouring Lalomanu will be on their way bearing the customary gift of a fine mat as they come to assist at the dedication. The elder of the new church unlocks the door. More than half the Western Samoans belong to the London Missionary Society, and all are Christians. Whenever a band contest is held, a hymn tune is always amongst those chosen. A health system accompanies a Samoan district nurse and others on a visit to some of the smaller islands. New Zealand gives much assistance and advice to her trust territory in medical and other matters. The party approaches Apolima, much of which is rather barren lava. The people of Apolima live on a patch of good land near a harbour formed by the crater of the volcano which built their island. At Manono Island, the government health officers go ashore. The Women's Committee of this small island have helped raise £1,000 towards building their own hospital, and part of official business today is to approve the site. At the chief's house, where the visitors take Ava, a dozen bags of cement are piled, as tokens of the island's firm intention to go ahead with the building of the hospital. When this is completed, there will no longer be need for patients to be taken by sea to Apia. The General Hospital in Apia, which includes a nurses' training school, is the main medical centre. In accident or sickness, Samoans can call on all that Western medicine has to offer. Two or 3 dozen nurses complete their training each year. The hospital includes maternity services and a baby clinic. For such professions as nursing, a good general education is important, and increasing numbers of children are studying for the New Zealand School Certificate.
All right, Sienna, can you come up and do the diagram on the board for problem? What are you going to do first?
I'm going to put down the right angle chart.
Now class, this is the passage we have studied on a modern hydroelectric plant. Now how does it differ from most factories and other industrial establishments? Nirani?
In a modern hydroelectric plant, very few men are employed, and almost all of them do work of a skilled type.
Nolene, would you tell us the purpose of this experiment?
This is one of the methods of purifying water called distillation, whereby the water in the flask evaporates and then condenses over here and collects in this beaker, and all the dissolved mineral matter remains in the flask.
Very good, Nolene.
The opening of a new school is always cause for celebration, with neighbouring villages again bringing the customary gift of a fine mat to their hosts. This time, the new school has been built by the village of Salalese, on whose malai pigs, barrels of meat and other foods pile up ready for the feast. The Director of Education opens the door. The people of Salalese want this known as Naila School, Naila being Samoan for the River Nile, implying that the school is to stimulate the minds of the young people, just as the Nile refreshes the fertile fields of Egypt. The school is opened, the food is ready, and the songs and dances begin. The new school has been well and truly inaugurated. Though schools tell of the great world outside Samoa, the island's own government is a subject of importance.
This diagram shows how the government of Western Samoa works.
At meetings of the Executive Council, Samoan members have already had many years' experience of making important decisions. In 1960, the Council will have the powers and duties of a parliamentary cabinet. At present, it meets under the chairmanship of the New Zealand High Commissioner, His Excellency Mr. G.R. Pole, CMG.
Confirms the minutes then. The next item on the agenda is to continue our consideration of the report of the visiting mission from the Trusteeship Council.
we come to the section on agriculture.
The most basic New Zealand aid to agriculture is the soil survey.
The reason for our visit here, Chief, we have come all from way from New Zealand to see your soil and to see if we can understand all about the soil so that maybe there's something we can do to help you grow more food crops.
Starting point for soil survey work is the aerial map. The men travel all over the islands. Frequent samples are bagged, recorded and sent down to New Zealand for chemical and physical analysis. On great occasions, everyone comes to the historic centre of Samoan society at Mulinu. These are the people of Vaimanga bringing gifts of pigs and coconuts for the annual flag-raising ceremony. The flag raising is held the day after Her Majesty the Queen's birthday, and as the day proceeds, Samoan customs alternate with British ones. In mutual courtesy, the New Zealand High Commissioner hoists the Samoan flag, while a leading Samoan, the Honourable Tupua Tamasese, CBE, hoists the flag of New Zealand. Here the customs of two peoples are observed, with the two flags a symbol of partnership. In a few years, the flag of Samoa will be alone at the peak, and Samoan young people are busy gaining the skills that will be needed to run the affairs of their own tropical islands. For them, beneath the wind in the palms, schools teach not only the ways of the great world, but also the ways of ancient Samoa, their own exclusive heritage. This, then, is Samoa, home of the most numerous island people of the resurgent Polynesian race. Here, amidst leaf and branch, over rock and coral, each new day blossoms like one more flower on the living tree of tradition.